I was going to say.
That's not really popular, so just come to it. Also because we're going to run a little poem to start with, and you might not hear it because we don't have a speaker.
So our speaker is not very loud, and we're going to play a 2-minute poem, so we want you guys to have a chance to hear it. So, yeah.
What's up?
Okay, so we're going to start, and I'm going to give Coco a quick introduction after the video, and then she's going to read a couple of excerpts from the book, hopefully entertain us with some of her adventures, and then we'll be able to mingle and get to know some of you afterwards.
They convinced me I only had a few good years left before I was replaced by a girl younger than me. As though men yield power with age, but women grow into irrelevance. They can keep their lies, for I have just gotten started. I feel as though I just left the womb. My 20s are the warm-up for what I'm really about to do. Now wait till you see me in my 30s. Now that will be a proper introduction to the nasty, wild woman in me. How can I leave before the party started? Rehearsals begin at 40. I ripen with age. I do not come with an expiration date. And now, for the main event, curtains up at 50. Let's begin the show.
Okay. Well, you're in red, so it's all nice. All right, so I met Coco a couple months ago. We started off as sort of working together, but because of her fun, cool, smiling, and very helpful disposition, we just naturally became friends. So after becoming friends, what I quickly learned about this woman is she is a powerhouse. So behind that smile, she is a woman on a mission. So when she puts her mind to something, she's like a rocket. It's just straight ahead. And what I also learned is that she has the gift of reinventing herself over and over and over again. From relocating to multiple different countries, to being able to completely shift careers, getting a PhD, and then she's a tennis coach now, to raising 2 amazing boys. She can pretty much do everything. So her book sort of outlines her life and her adventures. And here to tell us a little bit about that is
Metro Bank for letting us use this lovely space. Much Catherine, so to my second guest, and now obviously my dear friend, on my talk show Tuesday Talks, and the video with the highest viewing so far, well over 13,000 in just 3 short months. So clearly extra book, so it's going to be from different chapters, kind of different passages, and at the end, feel free, I know that some of you have read the book, so feel free to ask any questions. We'll have a chat later on. So chapter 1, 3 pillars. I had a carefree life until the age of 30. I was young, still in school, okay looking. The world was at my feet. I had wonderful boyfriends, and looking back, I had no idea how great these guys were. I took them for granted. Life had been ticking to, I had my first child at 30, my second one at 33, and I was with Matthew, my partner and father of my 2 kids. And life appeared to be ticking on great. However, I started noticing a progressive unhappiness creeping in. And while browsing through some recent photos, I couldn't help but notice that I didn't look happy on any of them. I didn't resemble my usual chirpy self at all, and something felt off, and I knew things weren't right. So over the course of the next 2 years, I embarked on a personal journey to understand why I no longer recognized the happy, cheerful girl I once was. So I needed to figure out what was wrong and how to address it. So whilst I enjoyed running my company and found fulfillment in my work, I didn't experience the same level of contentment when I was at home. The weekends had a strange vibe, and I didn't enjoy going anywhere with Matthew. I didn't want to place blame on him because we were both trying our best, but we were not as emotionally close as I needed us to be. Matthew and I had many difficult conversations whilst I was trying to figure out what the issue was. We would discuss different aspects of our relationship, often leading to tears from both of us. We would experience a brief improvement in our connection for a few days, only to return to our usual routine. After through a few cycles of these conversations, I decided they were too emotionally draining and decided to stop them. The growing distance between us became inevitable, as I required more emotional connection than he was willing to provide. He was hesitant to open up to me, fearing that he would get hurt, only to end up with the result that he feared. It took me 2 years to finally identify what was important in my life, and I named these values my 3 pillars. And those were my children's well-being, my work, and my partner. So that's chapter 1. All right. Chapter 2, on relationships. It's complicated. This is a phrase I hear most often when I am on yet another date with a guy who's in a relationship. So, kudos to the latest one who at least let me know that he was in a relationship when the moment came up. Why agree to even go on a date with me in the first place? Let's not answer that question. On a Wednesday, when that was the only day that we had common availability. Chatting over drinks, apparently his current relationship was complicated. The guy before that forgot to tell me he was married, and the one before that, well, it's complicated. I'm not sure if this trend or issue of systemic cheating is exclusive to large cities, maybe because I've never run into it before, or is it related to our age group, 40 and above? In truth, I'm not someone who particularly enjoys dating. I prefer the organic. Yeah, who doesn't? So at this point, I just want to, it's just quite funny that I usually get 2 questions. So this is not in the book, it's just an observation. So my female friends often ask me, kind of with concern, like, are you really too tired to mingle? So my answer is, I'm never too tired for the right person. And then something that men often ask me, in a little bit of a, I don't know, funny way, it's like, oh, are you waiting for the perfect man? So my answer is, no. As no one is perfect, not even me. And I think that if you're expecting your partner to be perfect, you really put a lot of pressure onto them, so I wouldn't want that as well. And so it was quite funny, I recently won a mixed doubles tournament with, with my partner, and he was the one to get the trophy. And so then he texted me that the trophy was first engraved in 1985. And he's like, you know, it's a little bit crooked, it has some chinks. And I said to him, yeah, don't we all by now? So I think the answer to the question, if I'm waiting for the perfect man, is, doesn't have to be perfect, just perfect to me. All right, chapter 7, on parents. I once read that being self-sufficient can be a weakness as well as a strength. I found this notion rather intriguing, especially as it rests on lack of trust in parents during one's formative years. As a result, you learn to manage everything by yourself. You don't depend on others due to fear of disappointment. To illustrate this point, when I was at university, I considered becoming a tour guide in my spare time. I pitched this idea to my mother, and she responded, you can't be a tour guide if you don't have the right qualifications or the right education. So I went ahead, obtained my certificate, and spent the next 5 years as a tour guide. It was a great way to earn money during my university years and great excuse to travel. So tell me I can't do something I'm passionate about and watch me prove you wrong. And back in the day, I think I was the only student from the Faculty of Farming who ever earned a PhD from the Faculty of Medicine, and probably the only PhD to own a high-end baby store or to become a tennis coach. So yeah, changing directions in life could be challenging. But I think that you can become anything you want to if you're willing to put in the effort. Take my tennis career, for example. For instance, I became a level 3 tennis coach at age 45. I was by far the oldest one there. I hung out with an 18-year-old for the whole duration. So a level 3 tennis license was something that I never thought I could achieve. In all honesty, I didn't even think I could achieve level 1 or level 2. It took me 4 attempts to pass, 6 months longer than it should have. Foolishly, I didn't seek out a mentor like I was supposed to because I claimed I was too busy. Turned out I wasn't too busy when it took me much longer than necessary, but I persevered and got it done. So it might have been a long and painful journey, but I accomplished it. We have the choice to quit any day, but choose to quit tomorrow, not today. Keep persevering and you will reach your goals, I promise you. And don't let the opinions of others deter you. It's your life, your decisions, and your dreams.
All right, we are going to open up for questions, if anybody has any questions for Coco. The more personal, the better.
Oh, thank you, Catherine.
Yes.
Hi, Copiona here. I want to understand what made you start writing a book?
Oh, good question. So I think throughout my life, I always felt that I was going to write a book, and an autobiography more specifically. So I always had that in the back of my mind. And sometimes I would say to people, watch out, because it might be in my book. And so then I think maybe January or February last year, I was run to a friend of mine. I was just telling her some stories from my work and some stuff, and she's like, oh, you should have a podcast. All your stories are so funny. And I'm like, okay, I can have it, but let's do it together because I don't want to do it on my own. I've never done a podcast. And then we couldn't find a date or a time together, so I thought, why don't I just write a book? And she's like, oh yeah, this person just writes a book. So then I did, actually. So I thought, I'm going to be 50 in December, so this was January, February. So I thought, let me write that before I turn 50, because then I had a holiday in Los Angeles planned, so I thought it would be a good little break to the year, and to the decade, not the decade, to the century, half a century. It's not even a decade anymore. So to the half a century. So yeah, and then I started actually just writing on my phone. So whatever chapters I kind of thought of, I would just write them on my phone. And then I actually took the tube to work a little more times, or more frequently than I usually do. And then once I had 20 chapters, or 20 chapters, I thought, okay, I can't keep this on my phone. I had a look whether any of them fit together, because I was just randomly writing them. It turned out 10 and 10 fit together, so I actually have like material for another book. And then it took a long time, and so I thought, let me write 9 chapters instead of 10, because one of them just wasn't flowing. But that's basically how it was. And it was quite funny, because my friend would ring me and she goes, oh, how far along are you in your book? And I'm like, I'm in page 37. And she's like, oh, page 37. I'm like, yeah, I want to be page 100, but you got to write them to get 100. So, and then once I got far enough in, she started asking me questions. And then I got it done.
What did your ex think about the book? Meg?
I don't know if he's read it, to be honest, and I hope he hasn't, but saying that, my mother's going to talk to me after she's read it.
It's one side of the story, right?
That is true, that's true. Let's not hear the other side. Let's just keep to one side, yeah? I did actually ask him if it's okay to put him in the book, and he just thought I was joking, so he never answered, and I thought, I'll take that as a yes. I'll take that as a yes.
Finally made it, he's a star.
So here we are. So I don't know. No one said anything on his side of the family. So let's keep it that way.
So that's an important question. So how did people feel about being in the book? Did you ask them?
So I told my kids they can't read anything I write, because I had stuff all over the house. So I'm like, guys, it's not for you. You can't read anything. So I don't think they did. I kind of trust them enough. If they did, it's at their own peril. Yeah, it's not my problem. I told them no. So I write about my brother, because my brother had selective mutism for a very long time. So that's, I don't know if you guys know, but that's something you don't speak to anyone apart from maybe your immediate family. And now he's a maths professor at university, so now he speaks all day long. So I thought it was an inspirational story to put in there, so I did ask him if I can write his story, and he said yes. But then when he said he's like giving the book to my mother, I'm like, oh my god, because I write about my parents' parenting style in here. And so she was horrified that I wrote about my siblings, because also my sister died when she was 20. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's my story, it's my siblings, and I asked for permission. He said yes, second the other one can't. But there's nothing that much, but she's offended. Yes?
The hardest thing to write is truth. How truthful were you? 100%,
Everything is true.
90%.
Yeah. Everything is true, actually.
80%.
Why would I write a book if I'm not going to lie? So maybe I can put every detail in there. I can put every detail in there, maybe. I need to save that for another for
Do you have some insider information?
Yeah, what insider information do you have?
Yeah.
I think I was pretty honest. If you read the book, you will know me.
It's hard. I have read 30 pages so far.
Okay, so what happened? Was it boring and you didn't want to read it?
I write myself.
Okay. No, but I think if you read the book, you know me, basically, more or less, 90%. maybe.
90%.
I think so, yeah, I think it's pretty honest. I think I didn't keep anything too far back.
Cool.
Yeah, why not?
That's very good.
Is there another question?
So it's a terrific book, and apart from playing fabulous tennis, what's next?
Oh. I have a YouTube channel that's doing quite well. So I'm trying to develop that. So we've just had the 16th guest on today, Tuesday talk, so it's on today. So I'm really enjoying that, I have to say. So the guests are all amazing. There's Veronica there as well. And thank you, Veronica, for this amazing evening as well. If it wasn't lady there, this wouldn't have happened either. So let's have a round of applause for Veronica. Yeah, so I'm enjoying that. So we'll see what comes out of that. But I'm really,
And the programs, don't forget.
oh my God, and the programs. Maybe I need to keep a list of stuff that I'm doing. So basically what I've developed, so one thing is from the book, so it's a 9-week seminar for single parents. And the other one's going to be a 9-week seminar called Fearless, because I think that, not think, because I've experienced, that people often don't do new things or different things in life because of fear of failure. And in my opinion, there's no such thing as failure. Like, unless you've gambled your house away like an idiot, anything apart from that is not failing. It's either learning new stuff, or you just seeing that something is not for you, or maybe you just need to make more effort. So I think that fear of failure, I think we need to get rid of that and just realize that everyone fails a little bit. So what? It's okay. You just get up and do it again. Yeah. Or differently. Yeah.
So when you become a best-selling author, are you going to give up tennis coaching?
I still have.
There's too many people in here that I coach. How can you ask me that? I have to say, I love coaching. I have to say, I really kind of found my passion in coaching. And one of my members at the club that I manage, she said that when she's on the tennis court, it's like I roll into one with the tennis court. So I have to say that when I came to London, which was 10 years ago, I really didn't know what I wanted to do in life anymore. I was just like really stuck. And then I really took time out again to realize, kind of see what makes me happy. And the only thing that I really enjoyed was being on a tennis court. At that time, I had no idea how that would help me in life. I thought it would never. But then one thing leads to another, and here I am. So yeah, I don't know. I do like tennis.
Sorry.
But I was like, yes.
One more question.
No problem.
How old were you?
So, I played a little bit in Australia. I used to live in Australia when I was a child. So I played a little bit just at a local club, so nothing specific. And then we came back to Slovenia when I was 13. And tennis wasn't that developed, but like I won a little league there in my town, which was nothing. But then my dad took me to the tryouts for the Olympia team, which is the Slovenian tennis team. So I got to the first round, I got to the second round, and then he didn't take me to the final round. I don't know, because they were getting divorced or whatever. And so that's always a pain, kind of like a thing in the back of my mind that I didn't resolve. And so once I came over here, then my kids were already in a tennis club, and then I got an offer to join really cheaply, and I said either I join and start playing tennis, or I don't think about tennis ever again. And clearly I joined.
And can we set up a date for a single match?
Yes, we can. We'll double.
Another opportunity.
Yes, I'm always up for playing tennis.
You said you have material for another book. Are you going to go ahead and do it?
I don't
And if
know.
so,
Now I
what
need a
else is
publisher.
there to
This
say?
was self-published. Now I need a publisher to do it. So I'll see. I found it quite fun writing. I didn't find it too stressful because I think if you're writing kind of like an autobiography, it's a little bit easier than fiction. I think for fiction I would have to go like and do a course or something like that. But non-fiction I quite enjoy, I have to say. So I would do it, but a publisher needs to pay me to do it. It's too painful otherwise. But yeah, why not? It's quite fun. It's quite good topics as well.
I think it's quite like a journey to embark on when you write a book like this, because you're going through your life and reflecting on a really deep level. And like as a therapist, I'll sometimes go through this. I'll do like a 6-hour thing sometimes where people go through their entire life. And it's very powerful to see like underlying themes, things like past memories that you might have tucked away, that unresolved stuff that comes up. So I think it was quite brave, intense.
I mean, the problem was that I worked 4 days a week back to back, so I only had 3 days to write, every Tuesday and every weekend. And obviously you don't want to write every Tuesday and every weekend. So I had to be really disciplined if I wanted to get it done. So that was the thing. Like I didn't go out, I didn't do anything, I literally sat and wrote. Did
Did you find any like unprocessed things coming up? Any memories and stuff that you felt like you hadn't done with? Calls that you had to make to people or anything like that?
No, I think the only thing that I found was when I was doing parenting and types of parenting, I realized what type of parenting and how that had affected me. Because I do parenting and then how it affects the child. I'm like, oh my God! So
Yeah.
that's probably why my mother's not talking to me.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Like, you know, she can call me up and argue differently if she wants to. But I think that was the only thing that I found really interesting.
Yeah, eye-opening.
Yeah. I do quite like psychology and stuff behind stuff. So it's good.
I didn't read the book because Graham was reading it.
Okay. Take your time.
I think the title is $1 million title.
Oh, thank you.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
You don't want to hear what the work is
Is it
like.
true that you're too tired?
I'm told that I'm never too tired for the right person. I'm just tired for it's complicated.
Maybe with the London scene.
Yeah. Saw your problems out before. I don't know. But no, I'm not too tired.
Well, thank you all for coming. Mingle with one another. Enjoy the snacks and drinks.
Oh yeah, and the cake, definitely.
And the
Yeah.
cake. Yeah,
I'm
you
coming
can
around
see
with
the
you.
cake.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Good luck with the book.
Thank you.
with the next book.
Yeah, with this one.